What's going on, guys? It's Char here, and welcome back to another Marvel Rewind recap. We're on for recap number 2, checkpoint number 2, and today we're going to be talking about all about Wave 3 of the game. Now, we're going to do a quick primer for people who are new to the series so they can jump right in. If you've already been watching the series up until this point and you don't know what the series is about, go ahead and skip to the timestamp. That's down in the chapters below, or the little annotation on screen will show you what part of the video to skip to, so we can start talking about the recap specifically. We're going to go into a little bit of what Marvel Rewind is, do the recap, and then show some of the bloopers and outtakes. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so here we are at checkpoint 2 now. If you guys don't know what Marvel Rewind is, we're going to go into it really quickly. It's the same slides as, basically the first introduction video and the first checkpoint. Just going to rapid through them, explain what the series is, why you should be watching it, and why I think it's a ton of fun. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. What is it? So Marvel Rewind is a progression series which it tasks me with fighting each villain in order of release. The thing that makes a series special, and because it's what a progression series basically is that we're only allowed to use cards released up until that wave. For example, for something like the Guardians box we most recently finished, we had access to everything in the Galaxy's Most Wanted box and before that was released. Plus, we were able to kind of dip into the wave that it's a part of, which is the other Guardian heroes like Drax, Star-Lord, Gamora, Venom, etc. So anything within that wave is fair game, though if I do go to a hero that was released somewhat in the future, I don't try and get like multiple heroes from the future to get like cards for deck building. Usually I'll still limit to that one pack. And the whole reason behind the series is to showcase difficulty on villain release versus the entire card pool. So I think what I meant is like how difficult were the villains at the time with the cards that were actually available at that time, because it's kind of hard to gauge villain difficulty nowadays. Not that it's hard to gauge, but it's like you're measuring something different when you measure how difficult a villain is nowadays, because the player card pool is only ever increasing in strength. Not necessarily like a power creep thing, but like the ability to have more options and newer cards with new effects that just weren't around at the time that these original villains came out can kind of trivialize or make some of these earlier harder scenarios a lot easier in the modern times. Whereas the point of the progression series is to really see, okay, when people who are following this game as it released, what was their experience with these villains, and does that kind of give me a new appreciation or change how I think of maybe some of these weaker or earlier villains with kind of like older designs compared to the villains nowadays with newer designs. That doesn't necessarily mean the villains nowadays are harder. If you guys saw, I just completed Ronin. There was a fail reel in that video that had probably 5 or 6 games in the course of like under 30 minutes. That is a brutal scenario. So later doesn't necessarily mean harder, but it is something interesting to keep in mind. And then the graphic just shows me fighting Rhino to Claw to Ultron, which is the core box progression. So why this series? I think that there's still, even now as we're getting into Mad Titan Shadow, there's still not a ton of content based on limited / early card pools, and the current versus legacy environment wasn't really a thing by the time I started this series, so it kind of is like, has like a flavor of that kind of like current environment type feel, because limiting the card pool on yourself does make these scenarios harder in a different way than like just raising it to like heroic or like a permanent acceleration icon or permanent hazard icon or something like that. Another reason for me personally is that so I can play as many heroes and defeat every villain on expert mode. I still have not completed that yet. There's still a lot of villains that I've never even attempted on expert mode. For example, Ronin, the first game I ever played with him on expert was actually in the last episode of the series where I was fighting Star-Lord versus Ronin, and I was so close to getting a win on my first attempt. I think I was technically off by like 1 or 2 damage, so then I did a couple more attempts and played it, and then got an actual win, even though there's so many rules and things to keep track of to play a perfect game. But I think both of those games were a perfect showcase of like, okay, there was just 1 or 2 things I just sort of slipped my mind while I was playing, but it would have been a win if I played it correctly regardless. And I also think it's a fun exploration of how card design and difficulty of the game evolved over time. Like I was saying earlier, You see a lot of these earlier cards like Melee, Haymaker, and Enhanced Physique. These cards don't really get played that much, but there is kind of a way and a place for these cards kind of earlier on in the game where there wasn't so many cards vying for your attention in the card pool, where there wasn't certain cards that are just a lot more optimal or a lot more streamlined, or like more of like a staple if you're building for power in decks. And it lets some of these older cards shine. I've had Uppercut in a lot of my decks, I've had Haymaker in a lot of my decks, and we're still moving on to Mad Titan Shadow, and I still don't think those cards are good and have a place. And the final reason is that I think it's a ton of fun. I love playing like limited. I love playing draft formats and TCGs. I like when you have to work with less to kind of achieve the same result. I wouldn't have had nearly as much fun fighting Ronin with, I don't know, like a really strong hero in the modern day, like a Cyclops fully kitted out leadership build, than I did playing with him, playing against him as Star-Lord. So that's it for me. And then how will this series go? Again, we are on about episode 17, 18 now, but every villain is going to be fought on expert. I'm aiming for mostly thematic matchups in decks. You saw the entire Guardians wave. It was a Guardian villain versus a Guardian hero. It's pretty important to me. I'm a big person who finds a lot of enjoyment in the game based on theme. I do like to win, so they're usually, my decks are made with theme in mind first, and then power as a really close second. But I love playing thematic matchups. It's a ton of fun, and we have one definitely coming up to start Mad Titan Shadow. And I would say I'm trying to emulate the small card pool as much as possible. So we're going on to Mad Titan Shadows. We have three full waves of content that are available for me to deck build with, and in my opinion, that's basically almost the entire game at this point. When you get in kind of like the X-Men waves, or like, yeah, I guess Sinister Motives specifically will be almost the entire card pool, but we're getting really close to it now, because when you get to kind of the X-Men waves, there's not a lot of cards I would consider like staples or like all-around great cards that get introduced in those expansions, because a lot of them are really, focused only on the X-Men. They really support the X-Men tag specifically, and they don't really buff like overall all-around decks. So the amount of options we're going to have available is only ever expanding, but I still want to keep that scope really limited. There was I was playing that Aggression Venom deck, I think against Collector 1, where I still chose to include Uppercut in the deck because there was technically better aggression options, but if I had to go between dipping into another pack for more aggression attack events, or just going with the 3 core box Uppercut, I'm leaning towards the side where I want to still keep the card pool as small as possible for these decks that I create, so you guys can follow along, or if you have a limited card pool, think about how you deck build using the core box and whatever you have available to you. And then, as always, the deck profile, a Marvel CDB link, and a difficulty rating for each villain will be at the end of each video. It's a ton of fun. You guys should check out the actual videos. There's it's like a really good flow to them. You have the intro video, you have the small introduction. We talk about the deck we're playing, the villain setup. We play the villain, defeat them. We talk about the deck list at the end, kind of any changes I would make, and then we end it with what I thought about the villain at that point in time. It's really fun. I think it's a really cool and wrapped up package tightly with a bow on top. So trust me, if you haven't seen one, make sure to check it out. Here's an example of one of the deck lists, which was the first one I made for this series all the way back. I don't even remember when, in October I think I recorded it. Marvel Rewind Rhino, of course, 1 pack required because it was only the core box, and yeah, it's a Justice deck. It was a ton of fun. So here we are at the actual recap section of the Marvel Rewind recap. I just went over what the series was really quickly once again for anyone who is new. Yeah, this is what the tier list looked like at the end of Ronin, and there was one small change I made between that episode and now, and it was moving Collector 2 all the way from A tier down to C tier. There's thanks to Albert, who always comments on a lot of my videos. Great viewer, I love reading his comments, and he made a really good point of, because of the deck list I played against Collector 2 specifically, I was kind of overrating his difficulty a lot. He made a lot of great points. And after thinking that comment, bringing my attention to it and thinking it over, I agree. Collector 2 is not a difficult scenario. He doesn't put a lot of threats on the board, and if he does, they're pretty easy for you to deal with. His side schemes give you benefits for defeating them. His stats aren't very high, and his threat thresholds that you have to keep scheming, you have to thwart in order to win the scenario, they also aren't very high. You have a lot of things available between like the Milano and the first player action to like remove 5 threat from the scheme and get an encounter card. There's so many things in that scenario that are just easy. You just build out, build out, build out on phase one until you can just finally do all the thwarting in one turn and complete the scenario. It's not difficult. Is it probably more difficult than Rhino? I'd say so. Rhino also isn't extremely hard. He's only even in C tier in my opinion because he can hit that advance on an unfortunate flip down. So that's that. Collector 2, he moves down. But for the rest of the tier list, you're going to see a lot of the Galaxy's Most Wanted villains are up chilling in like the A to S tier. Ronin is up there by himself until probably we get to Sinister Motives. But yeah, Ronin's absolutely brutal scenario. Collector 1 is hard because he forces you to make the deck in a weird way and play in a way that most people aren't used to playing in. Also, it's just kind of really punishing. He puts so many cards into the collection himself, and the fact that it's limited to once per phase, I think, or round to remove a card from the collection. If you hit a double encounter card, that's 2 cards that go in the collection, and you're having to slow down your tempo every turn to just remove 1, it feels like you're fighting a losing battle, in my opinion. Nebula, I put her like a bit lower than Ultron, but she can definitely be almost as hard or harder than Ronin because of how many surges she has. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind with this tier list. I thought Drang was really good and a really fun challenge, and then I like Collector 2 as well. But this is what the tier list looks like. I'm excited to see what it looks like at the next checkpoint. So let's go ahead and move on here. Let's talk about the past. Talk about the past 5 episodes. It's not as big of a recap as the last episode because it was waves 1 and 2, but still 5 good episodes to talk about here. One thing that immediately stands out to me is how short a lot of these episodes are. So you see Drax and Star-Lord are about an hour long, but then you see the Collector 1, Collector 2, and Nebula. They have really short run times, and I think the reason for that is I was going for a rush strategy or a pseudo rush in a lot of these decks. Venom specifically wasn't a rush strategy, but I was just going for quick wins on these villains. The reason being, if you stick around a long time between them, a lot of their, I won't say flaws shine through, but all of their strengths really get exasperated. Nebula has those like evasion counters that tick up and put a ton more threat on the scheme. Collector 2, I just wanted to build a rush deck. You don't have to rush that scenario at all. I just thought it'd be funny. And, Venom, Collector 1, is another one where you just don't want to stay in that fight longer than you have to because he's going to be putting so many things in the collection. And then when he flips that stage 3 and puts threat on the main scheme, it might get out of control. And I just rather would not have dealt with that. I would say for a couple bullet points, I did a good job of sticking to the limited card pool. I feel like a lot of the decks I made, I had options to put like, okay, let me put in this card from this pack and this card from this pack and this card from this pack, and it would have ballooned the packs required from like 5 to 10 on a lot of the decks, but I really, kept that limited card pool aspect in mind, kept it really small, and tried to stick around 5 to 7 packs required. I think I balanced the aspects pretty well. There's only 2 decks that I played that were aggression, which I think was Gamora technically because it was like justice and aggression, and then Venom, and then Drax was protection, Rocket was justice, and Star-Lord was leadership, obviously. And I think the thematics in this one were great. I like Drax and Drang was a ton of fun. Venom, Collector, Rocket, and Collector 2. I guess it would have been more sense if Groot took on Collector 1 because, Rocket and Groot. But and then we have Gamora for Nebula. Obviously, it was really core and thematic matchup. And Star-Lord and Ronin is like rematching from the movie. So it was a ton of fun. I have nothing else to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed these episodes. I think they were really great. There was some crazy fun moments, and then also there was some, what's it called? I think there was a lot of outtakes that were actually included in some of these episodes. So specifically being in the Ronin episode and another one that I can't think of right now, but it will come to me. Okay, so I finally remembered. I think Drax and Star-Lord specifically have their losses already baked into them. You can see kind of like some of the attempts I did before I got the actual winning attempt. I think those episodes are pretty fun to watch. Collector 1, Collector 2, and Nebula, I don't think have any losses in them, so stay tuned for the blooper, fail rule, whatever you want to call it, at the end of today's episode to see some outtakes and games from those recordings. So when we're moving forward here, so with the completion of Galaxy's Most Wanted, all of Wave 3 plus the Galaxy's Most Wanted cards are added to the card pool. Secondly, since Mad Titan's Shadow is a mix of Avengers / Guardians, we still have a good mix of heroes still available for thematic matchups, with, of course, that emphasis on the limited card pool. Again, Mad Titan Shadow comes with Adam Warlock and Spectrum as heroes, so I plan on playing both of them in the box. I know I kind of left Groot out on the last box, but I just didn't think Groot was going to be doing a ton, in my opinion, especially on those scenarios in expert mode. Sorry, Groot. I don't think he was making the cut. That being said, I do think Spectrum and Adam Warlock can definitely make the cut and have good showings here. So we are planning on playing those two heroes. And now we have the next teaser. This one should surprise nobody. We're going to go ahead and do the Mystic matchup here. We're going to take on Adam Warlock against Ebony Maw. I think it'll be a ton of fun. There'll be a ton of spells flying around. Battle Mage versus the Black Order Mage. I mean, it's going to be a great time. I'm sure it's going to be a great and fun episode, so I hope you guys look forward to that one. That's about it for me today. We're going to go ahead and get to that blooper reel, so if you guys enjoy watching gameplay where it's not always a win, like I said, if it's not Marvel Rewinds, usually it's a toss-up whether it's a win or loss on the channel, but these are all losses, so if you enjoy me getting maybe a bit upset or maybe a bit exasperated through the recording section, to go ahead and check it out. This is definitely the box that had the most losses by far, and it's a good time. So thanks for watching. As always, thanks for chilling out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like down below. Be sure to check out the rest of the series or any other deck or thematic matchup that interests you with the playlist that is included with this video and on the channel. Should be a ton of fun. Thanks so much as always for hanging and chilling out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the blooper reels. Bye. For some reason, I forgot how setup ability works. I had to double check it. Yes, we draw our hand first here, and then we'll resolve the setup ability. Martial Prowess is a good catch. Probably don't need a running gun just yet. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll keep the double for sure. I don't think we need any of these damage, and definitely not running guns. So we'll just trash 4, and then we'll drop 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we have quite a couple cards in our hand. Now we're going to resolve our setup ability. So we're discarding cards until we find a weapon card. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we found our pistol at the end of it all. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards, not terrible. And all right, that's to us. So we're going to start this. We start with a 7-card hand. We have 2 doubles here, so hopefully we can make something happen. I definitely want to do a double here for that. Drop kick would be really good here as well. So I think we want to do this. And then, oh man. We could do 1 here, 1 off our hero ability. We won't be able to get the stun with drop kick. Is there any other cards we can use? We'd have to use Martial Prowess as the last one. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, that sucks. I guess we can just do it for the damage. That doesn't feel very good though. Man, that's really rough. Okay, I don't think we have any other options though, so we just have to deal with, play with the hand we're dealt. No, I think we just have to. I think we just have to stun him here, even though getting down Martial Prowess would be really good. Hopefully we draw into something better. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. So we're gonna flip up here into Venom. We have the Symbiotic Bond ability, resource, take 1 damage to generate a wild resource. So we're gonna go ahead and play Dropkick, spending this card, and then taking a damage to generate a wild, which we're gonna declare a Fist resource for Dropkick. Gonna deal 4 damage to an enemy, and if we use only Fist resources, we can stun that enemy and draw a card. So we're gonna deal 4 here, bring him down to 10. He is going to get stunned, which is really good for us. Oh, and then I was supposed to take 3 damage or put the top card of my deck into the collection. I did forget that when revealed. So I'm going to take 3 damage. Yeah, I'd be at 8 here. I would have done that anyways. I didn't want another card in the collection, so that's fine. And then so we get to stun and draw a card. Hopefully it's something good here. Oh my gosh, multi-gun is like the best thing we could have seen. I'm really excited about that. So cool, we're going to spend both of these doubles here. We're going to get down our multi-gun. This is the card that makes Venom, in my opinion. It's restricted, exhaust the multi-gun to either deal 2 damage to an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme, or choose 1 player and deal 1 damage to each minion engaged with that player. We're going to spend this last resource here for our pistol. which is also really good for us. And when we use one of our basic powers, you can exhaust to get +1 for that power. We're going to have the multi-gun here. Go ahead and take 2 off of the main. And then we're just going to swing for 3, exhausting the pistol here to swing for 3 on the collector, bring him down to 7. And okay, I like that turn. Let's see what we can do here. We're going to drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool, cool, cool. All right, that's back to the collector. So he's going to increase this threat by 1. It's going to go to 3. He's going to try and activate it against us. He cannot because he is stunned. Now we're going to dealt an encounter card. We have Monarch Starstalker. He has 7 health, 2/2 villainous. And okay, that's back to us. So we definitely want to get rid of this guy. Do we have the damage here? I don't know if we do, which is really unfortunate. So we have our multi-gun. We have 2 there, 3, 4. Yeah, we don't have the damage for this guy, which kind of blows. But we're going to see what we can do. I think I do want to remove 2 threat. 3 threat, and then confuse the collector so we can flip down here. That's probably the plan we're going to go with. So we will do that. Let's take 1 damage from our symbiotic bond and spend this. And then it says if you paid for this card using only science resources, I'll declare this as a wild. We can confuse an enemy. We're going to remove 3 threat from the main here. And we're going to confuse the collector because he has a really scary, confused stat line. Then what we're going to do is, we have to spend the grasping tendrils here. So we can play Project Rebirth and then get our other pistol down when we flip down, which is pretty good for us. So we're going to spend 1 here for Project Rebirth. It's a crazy alter ego support. I can either heal 3 damage or draw a card. So that's really good. We're going to have Venom go ahead and swing for 2, exhaust this, 3 damage onto Monarch Starstalker here. So he's going to take 3. And then we're going to exhaust the multi-gun to do 2 more to him, bring him to 5. And then we have to flip down here. And then we're going to use Project Rebirth to draw a card. And then we're going to spend 1 resource to get our last pistol down. So we are fully set up here. And now it's all about stabilizing. And then we're going to ready up. Cool. Draw back up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we do have a running gun. We have Savage Attack. Savage Attack is going to be very good here, especially because this guy doesn't have that much health left. So that's going to be good. Okay, it's going to go up to 1 here. Now the collector is going to scheme, but he can't because he's confused. But Monarch Starstalker has villainous. He's going to scheme for a base of 2. Deal 1 damage to each character you control. So this is going to deal 1 to us. We're going to go down to 6. And this is going to go up by 2 up to 3. An encounter card. Crystal Ball. Hinder 2. Victory. When defeated, the player defeated the scheme may play a card from their hand, reducing its resource cost by 3. And it comes in with 5 threat. So that's really good. Do we have thwarting here? I don't think we do, which is fine. Okay. That's going to be that. So we're going to flip over here. Let me count the resources in our hand. We're at 6 health. We definitely want a Savage Attack, I think. But we don't have the resources, it looks like. I mean, we can just deal 5 damage to him. That is something. What we can do is thwart for 2, thwart for 3, and then running gun, and thwart for 2 more, and then play Avengers Mansion. Ooh, that's might be the play I'm going for here, because this goes into the victory display, which isn't bad for us. Okay, so let me count this out. Multi-gun does 2 here. He goes in the collection. Okay, and then then what we want to do is thwart. So he's going to go 2, go thwart in the collection. We're going to use our basic activation to thwart for 3. Then we want to run in gun, so we can spend both of these plus our symbiotic bond. We're going to ready everything up. It's ready Venom in each weapon upgrade. We'll have the multi-gun thwart for 2 more. And then we can swing on him for 4. And then we'll be able to play the Avengers Mansion down because we can play a card from my hand, reducing its resource cost by 3. Okay, so we're going to start off by healing for 3 here. So we're going to go back up. We're going to go up to 9. And then what we're going to do is flip up here because I need my activation. I'm going to multi-gun here to deal 2 damage to Monarch Starstalker. That's going to knock him out. He's going to go in the collection. So there are 2 cards in there currently. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to use the thwart and exhaust both my pistols here to thwart for 3 total off of the crystal ball. It's going to bring it to 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my symbiotic bond to take a damage, generate a wild, these 2 for a run and gun. I'm going to ready Venom and each weapon upgrade I control. So these are all going to ready back up. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to thwart for 2. Right, we're going to remove 2 threat from a scheme with the multi-gun. This is going to go in the victory display, which is not the collection because it has the victory keyword on it. So now I can play a card from my hand, reducing its cost by 3. So Avenger Mansion is only 1 cost. This is going to be 1 more to pay for it. 4 costs, get down the mansion, which is good for us. Let's exhaust the mansion, see if something comes up here. Combat training. Okay, probably don't need this. I might keep it in hand though. Do we swing on collector or do we thwart? I think we'll swing on the collector here for 4 damage. Bring him down to 3. And that's going to be our turn. Okay, I'm liking the setup we have going on here. So it's ready up. Let's keep this in hand and drop 4 more. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, Grasping Tendrils is super good here. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's going to go to the collector. It's going to go up to 4. He's going to go ahead and try and attack us. But we're going to play the Grasping Tendrils, which is super good grab here. Do I get rid of the Helicarrier or... So we're going to use our Symbiotic Bond to take 1 damage. We're going to go down to 7. And then we have to spend 1 more resource here, which is... Oh man, Helicarrier or Combat Training is the question. Probably Combat Training. So we're going to play the Grasping Tendrils. When the villain initiates against you, cancel that attack. If I only used punch resources, I can stun them. So he's also stunned now, which is really great for us. And now we have an encounter card to deal with. The Philosopher's Stone. Victory 0. The player who defeated the scheme may draw 2 cards, and it comes in with 5 threat. Okay. Cool. Things are going well so far. So knock on wood, we're going to use an Adventurer's Mansion here. We're going to draw Power of Aggression. Okay. So what does he do when he flips? Again, so I think we're just going for damage at this point. We put the top card of each player's deck into the collection. And then place 1/3 on the main scheme for each card. So it'll be at 3. So it'll go up to 7. I think we just have to try and push for the game, which is really scary. I don't really know. Or I can, thwart this out and draw 2 cards, which is also another good option here. I think we'll do that. We're gonna Philosopher's Stone. We're gonna drop this by 2. Then we're gonna have Venom thwart for 3 by exhausting both of the pistols. And it says when defeated, again, this is victory. The player who defeated the scheme may draw 2 cards. We're gonna draw 2 here. Got Bug and Relentless Assault. Cool. We're gonna get an encounter card and then shuffle up our deck. Okay. Not bad going so far. Probably want to get some cards out of the collection though, but I think we're doing all right for now. Okay, we're going to shuffle that up. So we're looking at our hand here. I think Hulk is probably going to be there just for some safety. We don't have any weapons to exhaust, so we want to play down... we probably want to keep the Power of Aggression in hand. We'll play these down. And I don't know if I use my Symbiotic Bond this phase. What did I do? I thwarted. I don't think I did. So I'll spend these 3 to play down a Helicarrier. So it's going to come in. And then we're going to exhaust the Helicarrier here. And then do our Symbiotic Bond and bring us down to 6 to put Hulk into play. And that's going to have to be that. We'll keep the Power and Aggression in hand and we'll ready up. Okay, so we have 4 cards to draw into. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Run and gun. I don't know if we'll get the entire kill here, but we'll be able to do a really good amount of damage. So let's see. We just got to make it pass. It's going to go up to 5 here. Collector's going to try and activate against us. He can't. And now we have 2 encounter cards to deal with. First one. View of the Cosmos. Put the highest cost card from your hand face up into the collection. Discard the highest cost card in your hand and place an equal amount of threat on the main scheme. Man, this is tough. I think we have to just put the run and gun in the collection. Discard the highest cost card. So either it goes in the collection now or this goes up to 8. Yeah, so we'll just put this in the collection. And then next one. Shadow of the Past. That is probably the end of the game. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, so we get the side scheme and Nemesis minion, and that's going to be a reset. Oh, man. I wonder if I had it there. So not without the run and gun, but I could have swung 3. What would he have done to himself? Punch resource, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So he would have done 3, and then he would have gone to face 16. And then I could have done 16 Fusillade for 5 for 11. And then this would be 9. And then I'd swing for 3 more, 6 damage left. And I would have a Spidey sense. Man, that's so unfortunate. Okay, so here we are. We have to remember to do the setup to put the top card of our deck face up in the collection. Losing a double is pretty unfortunate. But now we can go ahead and draw up here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these cards I don't hate. I think I'll keep these 2 and probably discard the rest here. So let's drop 4 more. Looking for setup cards of any kind. Groot I like. 2, 3, 4. Oh no, we're going to be discarding so many cards because we have basically 2 out of our 3 weapons. So let's go ahead to do our setup ability. Discard cards from the top of our deck until we discard a weapon and then add that to our hand. So we're just looking for our other pistol here. Who knows where it is? It might be the absolute bottom. Okay, so that's quite a lot of cards we discarded, but that's just what it is when you play Venom. And okay, that's to us. So we want to look for some tempo here for sure. So I think we're going to be playing... we're going to keep the multi-gun in hand, but we're going to drop kick just to stall for a little bit and get both of our pistols down. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Also, we have to do our when revealed to choose to either take 3 damage or put our top card of our deck into the collection. We're going to take 3 here, go down to 9. All right, flip up. So I was always going to do that, so it didn't make a huge difference anyways. So here we are. We're going to spend these 3 resources here. This doubles if you're playing for an aggression card for drop kick. We're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy. And if you paid using only punch resources, they get stunned and you draw a card. It's going to bring him down to 10. He's also going to be stunned. And we're going to draw a new card here. Run and gun. Okay, so I don't think we can use that right now. Drew would be nice, but I don't think we have the economy to play him. So we're going to spend 1 resource being Groot to get down one of our pistols. It's going to be really good for us. And then do I keep the running gun or do I trash it? Probably just trash it and keep our health. We're going to spend 1 here for our other pistol, so we have them both down, which is not bad. And we're just going to thwart for, I guess, 3 off the main here, bring it down to 1, and we're going to ready up. Cool, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have our Project Rebirth. We also do have a Confuse if we want to flip down, so it's not looking bad. So it's going to go up to 2 here. The Collector's going to try and attack, but he can't because he's stunned. And get an encounter card. Assault. The villain attacks you. I think that's fine. We'll just take this here. So it's going to be 2 damage. 3. So we go down to 6 health here. And now it's back to us. Okay, not bad so far. So what do I want to do here? So probably get the multi-gun down. I guess get down the multi-gun and then Project Rebirth. We can't really flip. I mean, we can flip if we want. Yeah, we probably will do that just to heal a little bit. So we're going to spend 3 resources here and then use our Symbiotic Bond for the last one to get down our multi-gun. It's just really good. This is the card that kind of makes Venom Venom, in my opinion. Okay, so then what we're going to do is I can exhaust to get rid of this card. I choose to either exhaust your hero or spend 2 resources. Let's just do it while we can. I'm just going to exhaust this. We're going to throw this in our discard pile. Now the collection's down to 0. Yeah, now we're going to multi-gun to thwart for 2 off of the main. We're going to flip down here. I'm going to spend 1 resource for Project Rebirth. And then we're going to exhaust it to heal 3 health here. It's going to bring us up to 8. Okay, all things considered, I think that was fine. Let's draw up here. We're going to get 2 encounter cards, which is really scary. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to get an encounter card, and then we need 2 more cards here. Okay. Five and 6. Cool. What did we draw into? It was another double and uppercut. All right. So he's going to go up by 1. He's going to scheme for a base of 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no. That's really bad. Okay, so it's going to go up to 7 here. We have 2 encounter cards to deal with. First one, Servant Bot, Guard, and Patrol. Second one, Servant Bot with Guard and Patrol. Okay, so that's 2 cards going in the collection, but what can we do about that? That's so we do have a Relentless Assault here for 1 of them, which is good. We have to get the main in check. Do like Spider Senses as well. I just don't know if we're going to be able to play all of these cards. So I think we're going to start off by doing these 3 resources here for a Helicarrier. I'm just going to come in ready. Do we get the Spider Senses down from now? And kind of forego the Relentless Assault? I don't know. No, I think we have to play one of the Relentless Assaults. It's just like if I choose not to heal here. So if I choose to draw a card and then spend my Symbiotic Bond, I'll be down to 7. And then I thwart with the gun. If I do that, I can attack one of the bots and then Relentless Assault the other one and then thwart with the gun. I mean, this is rough. Oh no, we do have this here, so I don't think I have to. I think I can heal because I forgot about the Helicarrier. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to heal here because it's pretty important for us. We're going to go up to 11. We're going to flip up here. We're going to attack one of these bots here, just exhaust, both of them. When he's defeated, he's going to go in the collection. So there is a card in the collection once again. Oh wait, I put one in my hand. Now I'm going to spend these 2. We're just going to flip this because I forgot Relentless Assault needs fist resources for the overkill. I mean, obviously I would have done that because I was planning on doing it. We're going to Relentless Assault here for 5, dealing 3 here, puts in the collection, and then 2 onto the collector, bringing him down to 8. That's cool. And then, oh no, I still do have to take a damage. That's fine though. We're going to do Helicarrier and our Symbiotic Bond down to 10 to get our Spider Senses in hand. When the villain initiates an attack, draw a card. Then we're going to do Multi-Gun to thwart for 2, bring this down to 5. And we're going to ready everything up here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Running Gun's good here. Oh my gosh, Running Gun with 2 mean swings. I would get swing for 2, exhaust both. Yeah, that would be the whole health bar. And then we can Running Gun and deal with what comes next. We'll see how that works. So you can go up to 6. Collector's going to activate against us, man. I think we just have to take it because we really want our activation here. So that's 2, 3 damage, not bad. Brings us down to 7. 1 encounter card here. Attach your identity, you get -1 attack, defense, and thwart. And then you have to take a damage, and you take 1 damage and spend 2 mental resources, discard this card. Okay. All right. That's pretty bad, but I think we just have to keep going with what our plan was. I think what it has to start with is, man, I think we just missed the kill, which is unfortunate. Oh wait, I was supposed to draw a card when he attacked me, so I should have 6 cards in hand because of the Spider Sense. Oh my gosh, the Grasping Tendrils. It wouldn't have worked anyways, I guess. But I can save this for next turn, which should be really good. Yeah, we're just gonna have to try and push for damage here, even though I'm at 0 thwart, 1 attack, 1 defense. We're just gonna have to try our best here, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and swing for 1 on them. I'm gonna spend both of these mean swings when your hero makes a basic attack, exhaust a weapon, get +3. So I'm going from 1 attack to 4 to 7. It's gonna bring the collector down to 1 here. Then do I use my multi-gun? So when he goes to the next phase, the top card's gonna go in, and then he gets 3 threat on the main scheme for each card. So a card's gonna go in, and then it's gonna go up to 9. Man, that's really scary, but I think we have to do it. And these are gone. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and push the collector to his next phase. We're gonna deal 2 damage to an enemy here. It's gonna bring him down to 0. He's gonna flip into stage 3. He's gonna get 18 health here. And it says, with the top card of each player's deck face up in the collection, and then place 1 threat on the main scheme for each card in there. So it's gonna go up to 9 here. Oh wait, it was already at 6. I have to add an extra one. And it pops at 10. This is extremely scary. Luckily, we do have a run-in gun, though. So, yeah, we need the grasping tendrils just so we can live here. Yeah, we'll spend the helicarrier here. And then these 2 resources, Avengers Mansion and Relentless Sulfur Run-in Gun. We're going to ready Venom and each weapon upgrade I control. So that's pretty good. We're going to have the multi-gun thwart for 2 off the main. We're going to down to 7. Then we're going to attack. I only have a base of 1 attack, but luckily these 2 can bump me up to 3. It's going to bring this down to 15. And we're going to end turn with Grasping Tendrils in hand. And then we're going to ready up. Cool. So we're going to drop 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Cool. That's to us. So it's going to go up to 8 here. The collector is going to attack, man. Do I have the kill if I play it dangerously here? Let's see. So this would be 2 damage. So that would be 5. And then I would swing for 2, which is 7. So it means he'd have 8 health left. I don't think I have it, even if I play it safe here. So it looks like I can draw off Spider Sense on the same initiation, which I thought I could because it's a hero interrupt. They both are. So I'm going to trigger the Spider Sense first to see if this changes my mind. Savage Attack. I'm not sure this changes my mind really significantly. So I think we're just going to do the Grasping Tendrils because I'd rather play it safe. Let's go ahead and spend, I guess, the uppercut. Now let's spend the other Grasping Tendrils and our hero ability to take a damage. We're going to prevent this activation, and then we're also going to stun him because we only used Fist resource. 1 encounter card here, Monarch Starstalker. He has 2 attack, 2 scheme, and he has Villainous, and that's pretty scary for us, but let's see what we can do. That's back to us. Okay, man, how can we get this kill here? I don't think we just have it, but we're gonna try our darndest anyways. Okay, so we just need to go full send damage into the collector here, and we're gonna have to just defend his attack, I think. So how much do we have? We have 2 from here, so that brings him down to 13, and then we can do 2 more. That's 11, and then we can do a Fusillade for. Then we just have to do Fusillade and Savage Attack here. I think we have enough. Yes, we do. Honestly, I think do we get rid of Monarch Starstalker? It does keep us safer because we can do a Savage Attack for 5 on him and then just Fusillade Collector. It would get really scary when it comes to this. Oh, man. It's just really scary in general. Man, oh, man. I just don't know how I want to play this. Is there a way that we can behind enemy lines here instead? Remove 3 threat, flip down, and then. So I think we can. So like we can do 5 here, multi-gun 2, 5. He goes in there. We exhaust to get him out of the collection just in case. Yeah, I think there is a line there. So let's try this. So we're going to do, yeah, we're gonna do helicarrier here. and behind enemy lines. Remove 3 there from a scheme. If I used only science resources because it was only 1 cost, I can confuse an enemy. So this is going to go down to 5, and he's going to be confused here. Then what I want to do is I want to use my multi-gun to deal 2 damage here to Monarch. So he's going to be at 2 damage, and then we're going to use our symbiotic bond to take a damage, and then this as 1 resource for savage attack for 5. It gets overkill, but he has 7 health. He's going to go into the collection, and then we have to take the damage, but we're going to exhaust as an action and remove our, I guess, our double from the collection here. And then I think we flip down, and we're going to heal up here by 3 back up to 8. And then we're going to ready up. Okay, that might be really good for us. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Fusillade Bug. These are quite good cards. All right, I'm going to ready up here. So this is going to go up to 6. He's going to try and confuse against us. He cannot. He is scheme. He's not. He's confused and advance. And okay, we've sourced the Power Stone. Now we're going to go ahead and draw up and try and take down Nebula here. So the thing about Gamora is she has a special deck building opportunity that says you may include up to 6 attack and or thwart events in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. We're playing aggression today. I felt like it gave us the best chance of actually bursting Nebula down and kind of stun locking her because of dropkick specifically, but we threw in tackle from protection because it's another stun card as well. Let's go ahead and draw up here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Wow, wow, wow. We got like all of our doubles here, which is absolutely crazy. I feel like I just want to discard these 2 cards to see if we can find something else. Because I can't really play. I mean, I can play acrobatic move, but like, let's go ahead and discard these 2 and maybe we'll find something better. So I'll discard these 2 and draw up 2 more. Uppercut and cross counter. Okay, it's not super great, but it's not terrible either. I'll say that much. But that's okay. That's going to be us. So we're going to use our action here to look at the top card of our deck. And if it's an attack or thwart event, we can choose to draw it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and draw a cross counter here. I think that'll be good if an attack manages to get through. Okay, so I think we're just going to flip up here into Gamora. She has 2 responses here. She has finesse and precision. Basically, they kind of, whenever you play an attack event, it does the opposite. When you play a thwart event, it does the opposite. So for example, finesse, after you play an attack event, remove 1 threat from a scheme, and it's limit once per phase. So on the villain phase, you can do it as well. And precision is after you play a thwart event, you deal 1 damage to an enemy. So she has like pretty good solo play. She has that 2/2 stat line, a good amount of health, and a good, the recovery is okay. 3 is probably the average. But okay, we're looking to play dropkick here and maybe drawing us into a different card. So let's go ahead and spend the Milano for 1 resource. We're going to play dropkick for the strength, and all 3 of them, I'm going to declare this wild as a strength resource. So we're spending 3 strength resources here for dropkick. We're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy, and if I pay this using only fist resources, they get stunned, and we can draw a card. So I'll go ahead and take that draw. We're going to deal 4 damage here. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 13. Nebula will be stunned, which is really good because we want to stop her activations. Oh, okay. I will say we were supposed to resolve her ability to discard the top 2 cards. I did forget about that, but luckily we haven't done anything yet. And then attach this technique attachment, discard this way to Nebula. I'm only saying that because this could affect our turn here. So that's 1. Okay, so this gets discarded, but this one is attached. So it says Nebula cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack. So, okay, luckily that hasn't affected anything here. That being said, so I stunned, I drew a card. I'm also going to take control of the Power Stone here because it says as a force response, after a hero or villain deals 3 or more damage to an attached character with a single attack, you attach the Power Stone to the attacking hero or villain. So now we have 3, 3, 2 stats right here. And then we still have a lot of cards in our hand to be able to play. We drew into another uppercut, which is kind of funny. I'm trying to see, do we just play double uppercuts here and then just completely flip her to the last phase? I don't know. I think maybe that would be the play. Just play extremely high tempo, not even keep a cross counter. Oh, also we had a response to remove one threat, but we're going to be playing 2 more attacks anyways, so let's just do it. I'm going to spend these 3 resources here for an uppercut. We're going to deal 5 to an enemy, bringing her from 13 down to 8. That's going to do that. Then we're just going to spend 3 more resources here for another uppercut. We're going to bring her down from 8 down to 3, and then we're going to spend our response. After you play an attack event, remove 1 threat from a scheme, go down to 1. And then we're going to swing on her for 3 here. That's going to go ahead and knock her into phase 3 on the first turn. So this is the same thing. She gets 1 extra attack. It says the first technique attachment each player reveals each round to gain surge. And as a force interrupt, when she initiates an activation against you, you resolve the special ability on each technique. You may then remove the top card of your deck from the game to choose and discard one of those attachments. And okay, that's it for us. We're going to ready up here. We're going to draw up 5 cards, and then she comes in with 20 health. So let's see what we can do here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we don't have a stun in hand. We do have Nick Fury. We have a decisive blow. Let's see what we can do here. So what's going to happen for step 1 of the villain phase? When the villain phase begins, we're going to place 1 evasion counter on here. So this is going to go up. Here's 1 counter, and then step 1 of the villain phase, it's going to go up for each evasion counter, so it's going to go up to 2. Nebula's going to try and activate against us, but she can't because she's stunned. Then she's going to resolve an encounter card. Exhaustion, so we're going to exhaust our identity, and it's going to surge into Blindside Peril. While you are resolving this card, other players cannot help you. When revealed, choose to either exhaust the Milano, spend 2 fist resources, or stun the first player. We're just going to exhaust the Milano here. And that will be that. Okay, let's back to us. I think we just play a Nick Fury here probably. So we're going to just spend these 4 resources. We're going to play down Nick Fury. We're going to have him draw us 3 cards here. 1, 2, and 3. This is an insanely unlucky hand to draw into because they're all 3 cost cards. And we had the Milano exhausted. But that's okay. We'll probably just keep the drop kick, and then the other 2 we'll just ignore for now. So I think we'll just swing for 2 here, down to 18. And that's going to be that, I think. Yeah, we're going to discard these 2 cards and drop back to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I should have kept a fist resource in hand. Okay, this is just going pretty poorly, pretty fast, but luckily tackle will maybe make up for it. Okay, so what's going to happen is step 1 of the villain phase, we're going to get an evasion counter. That means it's going to go up by 2. Now what's going to happen is Nebula is going to attack us for a base of 3. We're going to block this here. So this says when Nebula initiates an attack, we're going to resolve the special ability. So I think this will resolve first. It's going to go up to 5, and then I'm also going to remove the top card of my deck from the game to discard one of these attachments. So Keen Instincts will be removed from the game. I'll discard that. So yes, this is no longer in the game, and now we resolve the attack, so it's 3. After this activation, attach this card to Nebula and resolve its special ability. So Nick Fury is defeated, and special ability is discard 1 card at random from your hand. Yes. Does it say reveal this card? Oh no, it just says attach it. Okay. So we're going to discard 1 card at random. Forward momentum is gone. Then what's going to happen is she's going to reveal an encounter card. Advance. So that's going to scheme for a base of 2. Okay. There's a couple things that are going to happen here. So this is going to scheme for a base of 2. Technically, I think it says when she initiates an activation, we have to resolve the special ability. So we're discarding another card at random from our hand. So we're going to choose one of these. Tigra is gone. I will also go ahead and remove the top card of my deck from the game. So Power Aggression is gone just to get rid of this attachment. So it's going to be a base of 2. And then this is going to attach the Nebula. She can Stalwart. After this activation ends, attaches to Nebula and resolve its special ability. So she's going to get a tough status card. which is really bad. This is going very poorly. This is going to go ahead and pop here. This is going to come in with place 2 evasion counters on her ship. And then for each evasion counter, discard the top 2 cards of each player's deck in the encounter deck. So I'm going to discard the top 8 cards of my deck. And she's going to discard the top 8 of the encounter deck. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this is going to discard 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then again, we're going to resolve. This is going to resolve and give her a tough. It doesn't resolve again because it's only when she initiates. And I think that's back to us. So this is really terrible for us right now. She's also stalwart, so I can't even like stun her or anything. So I have to see what I want to try and do here. I'm not sure there is a ton I can do. I think this just looks like a loss. We'll go. Like I need the Milano and remove. And I'm gonna remove these 2 cards to remove 2 counters from here. I'm going to thwart for 3 off of the main. And I think we're going to keep the drop kick in hand and then ready up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we might have a chance at doing something here, but we're going to ready up. It's going to go up to 3. The man's going to go back up to 3. Nebula's going to attack us. So when she initiates an attack, if she already has a tough, she's going to get a face down boost card. So she has a face down boost card here. I'm going to remove the top card of my deck from the game, which is conditioning room to remove this. But she's going to attack us. I don't know. I think we just take the damage here. So that'll be 3. Okay. Okay. So this gets revealed. So that's 4 damage. And then it's going to resolve the special ability. So we're going to take 4 here down to 6. And then we're going to resolve the special ability to take a damage. So we're down to 5. And now this comes in with 2 threat. And now we're going to resolve encounter card here. So this is going to surge. You cannot take more than 5 damage. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a technique is discarded. Reveal that card and resolve its special ability. So we're looking for another technique here. Okay, here it is. She has retaliate 2 now. And we take 1 damage, so we're down to 4. And that's back to us. And then she also takes the Power Stone. Okay, she doesn't have Steady or Stalwart anymore, which is kind of like the only saving grace we have here. It's still not good, but maybe there's a chance we can stabilize. It looks really bleak. I don't know. I feel like we need Mockingbird. Mockingbird is better than Dropkick here, I think. But the only thing this deck wants to do is really play allies. Yeah, we're just gonna have to play Mockingbird, I think. So we're gonna spend these 3 resources. We're gonna play down Mockingbird. She's gonna stun Nebula here. Then we're going to thwart for 2 off of. I don't think we can even do that. I think it has to be off the main. And then we're gonna exhaust the Milano and spend 1 resource to bring the counters down to 2, and then thwart for 1 off of this. It's gonna take a consequential, and that'll be that. We're gonna deck out, get an encounter card. Yeah, this looks pretty over. But let's resolve this. It's gonna go up to 3 while I'm shuffling my deck. This is gonna go up to 4. She's gonna try and attack, but she can't. Then we've got 2 encounter cards to deal with. Yeah, I just don't have like piercing or anything. So like it's such a big tempo loss to even break the tough card here. And she has retaliate 2. She can't take more than 5 damage from a single attack. Extremely bleak. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, so yeah, we have 2 encounter cards to deal with. Here's the first. Pirate Lackey with Quick Strike. After this minion attack and damages you remove the top card of your deck. I'm just going to take the damage. We're going to remove another card from my deck. And then we're going to do one more. Lethal Intent. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until technique is okay, yeah, the game is over. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to just pick it up. Okay, so we're drawing up here. The whole idea on Gamora is that we just want to try and like stun lock Nebula to the best of our ability. But before we draw our hand, I did forget we have to discard the top 2 cards. And for each attachment that is discarded, we attach it to Nebula. So we have Weapon Mastery here, and she gains Retaliate 1, which is pretty annoying, but let's see if we can work with it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so I don't really mind a lot of the cards in our hand. Maybe we discard these 2 and see what we can find instead. Actually, we'll just trash 4. I really only like drop kick and keen instincts. Let's just keep, the sword just in case we don't find another fist resource. So we'll discard 3 and drop 3 more. Tackle, set the pace, and uppercut. Cool. Okay, so that's our hand. We're going to use our Gamora action here, which lets us look at the top card of our deck. And if that card is an attack or thwart card, we can choose to draw it. It is not, but we do know we have a Keen Instincts coming up. Okay, so I think what we want to do first is we're going to spend a Gamora sword here to get down Keen Instincts. We can exhaust it to generate a wild resource for a attack or thwart event. This Retaliate 1 is really going to bite us in the butt here. That is the wrong counter. There we go. So we're going to have drop kick. I guess we'll keep the tackle in hand. So it should work out fine here. So we're going to flip up to Gamora here. We're going to play drop kick, spending our Keen Instincts, the Milano, and uppercut. We're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy, stun, and draw a card since we used all fist resources. We're going to take a retaliate, but we're going to deal 4 here, bringing it down to 17 down to 13. We will take the Power Stone because it's a force response. After a hero or villain deals 3 or more damage, the single attack, it gets attached to us. So that'll go above our deck here. So now we have 3 thwart and 3 attack. After we play an attack event, I will use a response to remove 1 threat from a scheme, which is pretty good. And then I didn't end up drawing that card, so we'll do that now. It's our second Keen Instincts. We're going to play for 0 here, set the pace. We're going to remove 1 threat from a scheme. Oh, this should have no counters on it. Remove 1 threat from a scheme, and then we're going to use our precision response after we play a thwart event, deal 1 damage. Since it's not an attack, we do get around retaliate here, which is good for us. We're just going to spend this tackle here to get down our second Keen Instincts. We'll just put it underneath the first. And so now we have 2 of them. It comes in ready, but we don't have any other events to play. And we'll just swing for 3 onto Nebula. Down to 9. We're going to take a retaliate. And yeah, that's a pretty solid first round. Let's go ahead and drop 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Cool. So what's going to happen here is we're going to start with the forced interrupt. When the villain phase begins, put 1 evasion counter on here. Then step 1 of the villain phase will put a threat equal to the number of evasion counters. Oh, she was supposed to be stunned from drop kick. She's going to try and activate it against us, but she can't because she's stunned. We have 1 encounter card. Assault. The villain attacks you. I think we just have to take this attack here. So I'm not going to defend. So it says when Nebula initiates an attack, resolve the special ability. The special ability is take 1 damage. And then we can choose to discard 1 of these attachments. So this is now discarded. So we take a damage. We're down to 17 attacks for a base of 2. 3, 4, 5. Oh man, bringing us down to 2 health here, which is really scary. But that's going to resolve that. and now it is back to us. Okay. So I'd love to try and flip up here. What is our bottom most attack and thwart card? We'd be returning uppercut and hit and run if we flipped. Oh, and she's gonna take the power stone from us after that activation. What do we want to do? If we do this, okay, then we can still also play Nick Fury, which is pretty good here. So we're gonna spend Keen Instincts. One of our Keen Instincts at this double for Dropkick. We're gonna declare them all as physical, deal 4 damage and stun. That's gonna bring Nebula down from 9 down to 5. We're gonna stun and draw a card. She's played it with all physicals. We got Mockingbird, which might be a bit of overkill here. But she would stay on the board and Nick Fury wouldn't, which is a consideration. But I don't think we can do that. And since we played an attack event, we can use our finesse response to remove 1 threat from a scheme. We'll remove it from the Art of Evasion. We also take the Power Stone once again. Then I'm going to exhaust the Milano and spend 3 resources here to play down Nick Fury. I'm going to have him draw us 3 cards here. 1, 2, and 3. So we've got Decisive Blow. Have not played a thwart event this turn, which is... Oh, but we can definitely do that. We can deal 7 as soon as she flips into our next phase. That might be the play instead of a combat training. So we have the Power Stone. We're going to swing for 3 here and then 2 with Nick Fury. It's going to bring 3 plus 2 is 5. It's going to bring her down to 0. It's going to flip her to phase 3. The only difference with this Nebula now is she gets an extra attack. The first attachment, if each round, still gains Surge, but she has a Forced Interrupt. Her Forced Interrupt changes to when you may remove the attachment. Sorry, you may remove the top card of our deck from the game and discard 1 attachment. She comes in with 20 health. Oh wait, I don't think there's anything we can even thwart. Because of the fact that what's it called? There's just no threat on the board. So we actually can't play that Decisive Blow combo, which is a bit unfortunate. We could just deal 4 and spend our hand, which I don't mind. I think we would just do it anyways. So we'll just spend both cards in our hand for Decisive Blow. We're just gonna deal 4 damage to an enemy, just because you can't really do much else. And okay, that's gonna be that. I think we ready up here and try and push for a win. So Nick Fury has 1 consequential. So that's that. Cool, we're gonna draw up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we don't have a lot of damage in our hand, which is scary. Maybe we should have kept the Decisive Blow, but let's see what we can do. So this is going to go up to 2, which means that the main is also going to go up to 2 threat. She's going to try and activate it against us. She can't because she's stunned. Now we have 1 encounter card to deal with. So she cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack attached to Nebula. And then her specials place 1/3 on the main. But now we have, it surges because it was the first one into Shadow of the Past. Okay, I do have to look up how this resolves here. So give me 1 second. Okay, this really wasn't a crazy ruling. I should have just read the cards as printed. Nebula can't enter the game, but the side scheme can. This player other than Gamora cannot remove threat from sibling rivalry. After the villain phase begins, deal 1 face down encounter card to Gamora. So then Nebula cannot enter play, but the rest of her encounter set does. And the card surges because that's what it says on Shadow of the Past. If our Nemesis minion does not enter the game this way. So we're going to shuffle up and see what happens here. All right, and then we have 1 more encounter card, so let's see what it is. It is Cannonade. Hinder 3 per player. First player action, remove 3 threat from the scheme, and it comes in with 4 threat. Okay. And that's back to us. Nick Fury is going to leave play at the end of the round. All right, so what can we do here? So that has 4 threat on it, which is really scary, and I don't want the extra encounter card. But we do want to try and deal damage is the problem. And we've got choices here for sure. So I think we want to play acrobatic move for sure. So we're going to deal 2 damage to an enemy here for 0. It's going to bring her down to 14. We're going to resolve finesse after I play an attack event. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. Let's drop this down to 3. That'll resolve that. Then I will play both Keen Instincts here for forward momentum. We'll remove 3 threat from a scheme, 5 threat instead if you've played an attack event this turn. So yeah, we'll just remove it from Sibling Rivalry to just defeat this. That will also trigger Precision, which will deal 1 damage to an enemy. So go down to 13. Then what's going to happen is I could just thwart off the main. So we'll spend acrobatic move once more to deal 2 damage to an enemy. 1, 2, bring it down to 11. Yeah, I could just try to live this turn. It would go up by 1 and she'd be scheming for base of 2. There is a chance she doesn't pop the main, which I think we should try and play around. I'm going to exhaust the Milano and use this first player action here to spend these 2 resources. Exhaust the Milano and spend 2 resources of any type. Remove 1 evasion counter for each resource. So since I'm spending 2 resources, I'll take all the evasion counters and I'll thwart for 3 off of the main here. Bring it down to 0. And we're going to flip down here and draw up. Hopefully we can get the win here next turn. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2, 3, 4. We should be able to get this, all things considered, looking at this hand, but, you know, crazier things have happened. So step 1 is going to start. Force nerve on the villain phase begin. Place 1 evasion counter on here, and that means it's going to go up by 1 per evasion counter, up to 1 threat. Nebula is going to scheme against us here. So it says when Nebula initiates an activation, which is going to be now, resolve the special ability. So it's going to go ahead and place a threat on the main scheme. I'm going to go ahead and use this ability to remove the top card of my deck from the game. So Genius is removed from the game just to get rid of this. And now she's going to scheme for a base of 2. 3. It's going to Insight 1 and Surge. Oh wait, sorry. The boost is place 1 evasion counter on the ship. So this goes up to 2. So it's 1, 2, 3 plus 4. So it's going to go ahead and pop the main, which is unfortunate. So this is going to pop here. This is going to come in. It says place 2 evasion counters on Nebula's ship. For each evasion counter on it, discard the top 2 cards of each player deck and the encounter deck. It's going to come in with 3. So I'm going to discard the top 8 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't get an encounter card really luckily because there are 4 counters on the ship. So all of those are gone. And now the top 8 cards of the encounter deck get discarded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, that's that. We have 1 encounter card to deal with. Let's see. Barrel roll, Insight 1, and Surge. Place 1 evasion counter on Nebula's ship. So it's going to Surge now into 1 reveal alter ego Nebula schemes. If threat is placed, place 1 evasion counter, so it's going to be a base of 2, 3, 4, and we lost the game. Okay, so here we are. We have to remember to resolve our setup ability, which is discard the top 2 cards of the deck and attach any attachments to her. Technique attachments, that is. Neither of these are technique, so that gets resolved. We also got the Power Stone that she starts the game with, so we're going to go ahead and draw up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't love almost any of these cards in my opinion. I think I will discard these 3 and keep these 3. Probably discard this one as well. Let's discard 4 and see what we can find here. So we need to find a stun. That's kind of what the deck hinges around. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, dropkick is exactly what we were looking for. The whole idea behind the deck is, playing around dropkick and tackle, which was, one of the deck building opportunities Gamora has is she can include up to 6 attack and or thwart events in your deck from aspects other than the chosen one. I chose tackle for protection because it's a way to stun. And Nebula gets a lot of, mileage out of her activations, so more of those that we can cancel, the better. Let's go ahead and use Gamora's ability here. Her action, look at the top card of your deck. If it is an attack or thwart event, you can draw it. It is not. It is Hulk. So he'll just go back there. And now we're going to play out our turn. So I'm trying to look what I would want to do here. This would play this. And then this would play this. And then we'd have 3 for the dropkick and an acrobatic move. I think that's our plan of action. So let's go ahead and spend this double resource here to get down martial prowess. We can exhaust a fist resource for an attack event. Then I'm going to spend 1 resource, the combat training, to get down keen instincts, which is we can generate a wild resource for an attack thwart event. Then we're going to flip up here. We have 2 responses here. We have finesse and precision. Basically, finesse says when you play an attack event, you remove 1 threat from a scheme once per phase. Precision is the opposite. When you play a thwart event, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So we're going to start off by playing acrobatic move, which is 0 for 2 damage here. That's going to go ahead and deal 2 to her. That's going to trigger our our finesse here, which will remove 1 threat from the scheme. We're going to remove it from the main. Now we're going to exhaust martial prowess, the Milano, and king instincts. Declare all of them as fist resources. Well, these 2 wild ones as fist for drop kick. We're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy here, bringing her down to 11. She's going to stun, and if we played with all fists, we get to stun her and draw a card, which is that Hulk that we saw earlier. That's also going to trigger the force response on the Power Stone. After a hero or villain deals 3 or more damage to the attack character, it attaches to them. So now we have 3 scheme and 3 attack. We're just going to swing for 3 here, bringing Nebula down to 8. And that's back to us. Do we keep Hulk? I think we'll keep Hulk in hand and ready everything up here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, hidden runs, cross counters, cool. So what's going to happen here, the force interrupt is going to put an evasion counter on our ship, and then the main is going to go up for each evasion counter on it. So now we have Nebula, who is stunned, so she cannot activate against us, and we have 1 encounter card to deal with. Actually, it's 2, so we have evasive maneuver here. Nebula gains stalwart, and the special is you are stunned. If you're already stunned, gain a face down boost card. So it surges because of her hero card into Cutthroat Ambition, which says she cannot take more than 5 damage from a single attack. So that's a pretty good encounter phase for Nebula. Let's see if we can match it a bit. So we're gonna need Hulk probably to block for us here, but we want to start, we want to start getting things done damage-wise as well. So I think I like hit and run. I don't know, actually. So maybe we just do an uppercut and then swing for 3. We have to try and play around the evasive maneuvering. Yeah, that's probably our best bet. So I think we're going to spend... so we need these 2. Well, I wouldn't have an extra resource anyways to exhaust for the Milano action, so I guess maybe we'll just keep the cross counter in hand. That might actually be better. Yeah, that's probably better here. So I'm gonna exhaust martial prowess, the Milano, and keen instincts to play an uppercut here. We're gonna deal 5 damage to an enemy. That's gonna bring Nebula down from 8 to 3. She is stalwart and she can't take more than 5 damage from an attack. Okay, this all works. Okay. Then what we want to do is spend these 2 resources to play down the Hulk, who I think is just gonna be a blocker for us here. We'll have cross counter just in case, and we'll swing for 3. That'll knock Nebula into her 3rd phase. Comes in with 20 health. The only major difference on Nebula here is that when she resolves when she activates, we have to remove the top card of our deck from the game in order to actually remove one of her techniques. But that's all right. We're going to keep the cross counter and ready up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. All right. This is going to go up to 2, which means the main is going to go up to 4 because it's step 1 in the villain phase. Nebula is going to activate this for base of 3. We're going to block with Hulk here. So it says when she initiates an activation, resolve the special ability on each technique. So it's going to place 1 threat on the main, and I'm going to become stunned, which is really unfortunate here. But we will use her ability to remove the top card of our deck from the game to remove evasive maneuver here. She's swinging with a base of 3, 4, give 1 additional boost card, 5, 6. Okay, so Hulk is completely defeated there. And now we have 1 encounter card, which is Gang Up. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. Yeah, that's really bad. I think we just have to take this attack. At least we can cross counter it though. I'm not sure the timing on this. I think it's when it initiates an attack, so it's gonna immediately pop this, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, that is quite unfortunate. But that's okay. We're just gonna have to deal with it. So she's gonna attack us for base of 3. It says when she initiates an activation, resolve the special ability. That's gonna place a threat here. She's gonna go ahead and pop the main. It's going to place 2 evasion counters on her ship up to 4. And then for each evasion counter, we're going to discard the top 2 cards of each player's deck. And it comes in with 3 threat. So the top 8 cards get discarded here. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the top 8 cards of my deck are discarded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh, I just realized that we have to take all the damage anyways because the cross counter is just going to break my stun. But that's okay. So we're going to take 3 here. We're going to exhaust Keen Instincts for cross counter, but it's going to break our stun because it's attack traded. So that's just 3, 4, 5 damage. We're down to 5. And then I will use her ability to remove the top card of my deck from the game in order to remove this, what's it called? This attachment technique from the game. Okay, that's back to us. So our stun is gone, which, you know, does work out. So what do we want to do here? I think we need to... Oh, and she's definitely going to take the Power Stone from us. We have to play the Nick Fury, I think. So we're going to spend these 3 plus the Milano for Nick Fury. We're going to draw 3 cards here. 2 and 3. Okay, so we are going to spend the martial prowess and these 2 resources here for a tackle. We're going to stun an enemy, and if we use the fist resource, we deal 3 damage. Pretty good. We're going to deal 3, bring her down to 17. It's going to give us back the Power Stone here. Man, the main is really scary here, but I don't know if we have the luxury to even deal with that. I think we just have to push damage. I don't actually know. We're just gonna swing out for 5 here because we have 3 attack due to the Power Stone. Bring it down to 12, and that's gonna be our turn. Let's go ahead and ready up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, this is definitely not enough for us to get it, but let's see what we can do. It's gonna go up to 5. That means this is gonna go from 3 all the way up to 8. So Nebula's going to try and attack. She can't because she's stunned. Now we have an encounter card. With Quick Strike, after this minion attacks and damages you, remove 1 card at random from your hand from the game. I think we just kind of have to block. Oh yeah, sorry. We'll just block with Nick Fury here. And he is defeated, and that's back to us. Okay. I'm not seeing any avenue to win the game here. I think the only options we have is losing is what it looks like. Let's think this out. So I would have this and this. I can remove 1 of the counters from the Milano and thwart for 3. That would bring it down to 5. But then it'll go back up to 5 and pop the main. Yeah, I guess the only option would be to win this turn. I don't think we can because we can do 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. So yeah, that's just a scoop it up. It looks like I guess I needed I don't know what I needed there with a 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. I needed an uppercut, but I don't think I had any left. Yeah, that's just a scoop.